Hi, I'm Spencer. I'm a keyboard instructor here at the School of Rock, and we're going to be talking about how to buy a keyboard for beginners. A good beginner keyboard is an ideal instrument for students embarking on their musical education. Light enough to be transported, the best keyboard models teach students skills they transfer to full-size pianos. In this keyboard buying guide, we'll examine your options, whether you're buying an instrument for a student or searching for the best keyboard for beginner adult students. It's never too late to start learning to play. What keyboard should I buy for beginners? We hear this question all the time, and there's no easy answer. The answer depends in part on what the student's goals are. A student who wants to compose their own tunes has slightly different needs than a student who plans to transition from a keyboard to a piano. If this describes your student, it's important to understand the differences between a piano and a keyboard. Having said that, a good beginner keyboard should have certain characteristics. Action. Action describes how well the keys on a keyboard or piano respond when they're pushed down. Each keyboard model's action varies in firmness and resistance. Unweighted keys are easier to push down, while weighted keys respond like a traditional piano, making a keyboard with weighted keys a good piano for beginners. MIDI Compatibility. MIDI stands for Musical Instrument Digital Interface, common electronic instrument language that allows instruments to talk to each other by sending and receiving signals. While not a necessary feature in a music keyboard for beginners, MIDI compatibility may become more important if he or she chooses to get into electronic music or chooses to interface the keyboard with a computer. Computer connectivity. Many of the best keyboard brands offer computer connectivity. Although it's not necessary to learn to play, computer connectivity is a good option for students who plan to create their own music with music composition programs. Buying a beginner keyboard with computer connectivity now may help avoid the need to upgrade the keyboard in the future. Sampler and recording capabilities. As with MIDI compatibility and computer connectivity, sampler and recording options are advised for students who want to create their own musical compositions. Storage. While an option, onboard storage isn't necessary. Students can download software patches and new keyboard sounds on micro USB cards instead. When a keyboard buying guide lists storage as a feature, it is usually referring to user settings. A keyboard with 100 different sounds, for instance, may have an additional 100 blank settings for new sounds and user presets. Input and output. Audio input to a keyboard or digital piano is uncommon and almost always uses MIDI when available. Keyboard output is a much more important feature, as it allows the use of amps and recording equipment. Sound. Keyboard sound is one of the most important considerations when choosing a good beginner keyboard. The best keyboard brands produce sounds equivalent to those produced by a true piano. Other considerations include the number of sounds a keyboard produces at any given time, and the ability of a keyboard to play sounds such as drums, strings, and woodwinds as the backing or complement to a tune being played. Keyboard size. A keyboard with full size and weighted piano keys is perhaps the best keyboard to learn piano for adults. Such keyboards tend to have fewer sound options. However, for students interested in electronic music, a good beginner keyboard has smaller and unweighted keys, but more sound functions. In addition to the keyboard itself, you will need something to sit on as he or she plays and a stand to hold sheet music. For students working with a beginner keyboard, an electronic sustaining or dampening pedal is useful, as it recreates the piano's ability to allow the instrument's strings to vibrate freely. It's often possible to purchase stands, seats, and other accessories and bundles with beginner keyboards. A Workstation keyboard is one of the more expensive keyboards and essentially includes its own computer for composition and advanced program options. These are the keyboards used by many hip-hop and pop artists to program beats and other parts of the composition to play automatically. Workstation keyboards often include weighted keys, making them a good choice for the advanced beginner keyboard student. For the fledgling composer, however, a controller and laptop provide the same tools for a lower price. Some of the benefits of a keyboard workstation are that they are great for composition, they allow pre-programming of simultaneously played music features, have weighted keys, and offer professional industry standards and advanced play options. Overall, the advantages far outweigh the disadvantages when it comes to keyboard workstations. However, it is important to note that keyboard workstations tend to be priced at the higher end of the scale, and the sheer number of features can intimidate and overwhelm new students. Arranger keyboards are designed to provide auto accompaniment. Simply select a few options, and the keyboard then lays down a backing track that matches the style, rhythm, and tempo of the piece being played. This helps students get a feel for playing with other musicians while allowing them to play solo compositions. Some advantages of an Arranger keyboard are that it conforms to professional industry standards, is well suited for composition, and has auto accompaniment that encourages students to play. However, some disadvantages to consider are that the starting prices can be higher than those of less advanced keyboards, and beginners can find the range of programmable options overwhelming. A popular music keyboard for beginners, a synthesizer, is an electric keyboard capable of generating a wide range of sounds, from musical instruments to sound effects. They're smaller and more portable than keyboards for beginning piano students, and ideal for the keyboard student interested in playing in bands or small ensembles. Some key advantages of a synthesizer are that they are designed for playing with other musicians, provide output to amps or recording equipment, bridge the gap between a piano and digital equipment, and offer multiple sound options. However, be aware that there is a wide range of quality between brands, and students may outgrow synthesizer capabilities. Unweighted keys can also make the transition to full piano more difficult. The digital piano, as the name suggests, is a keyboard designed to imitate the sounds and feel of a piano. This is probably the best keyboard for students who need to focus on practicing and musicianship, and can be the best keyboard to learn piano for adults. Unlike many other keyboards, a digital piano usually has 88 full-size keys. The best keyboards will have weighted and graded keys to mimic the feel of a real piano, and often will have speakers built right into the keyboard. Digital pianos don't often have the sound range of synthesizers. They're intended for more traditional practice rather than musical experimentation. Digital pianos have many great advantages. For one, they feel like you're playing a traditional piano due to the weighted and graded keys. They also produce a great piano sound, offer volume control, and are cheaper than a traditional piano. There's no need to tune or replace broken parts. Digital pianos are ideal for practice and solo performances. A few disadvantages to consider are that they have relatively few sound options, are not portable like synthesizers, and the absence of full-size 8-inch jacks can make setup for playing gigs troublesome. Controllers have lower price tags than other keyboards for beginning piano students because they lack any built-in sound generating capabilities. Instead, the keyboard transmits MIDI data to other hardware or software. While a good choice for someone interested in creating computer-based music, controllers are not recommended for students who want to play rather than program their music. The perks of a MIDI controller keyboard are that they can be used for computer composition, and they output MIDI information to synthesizers and computer software. Some of the downfalls of using a MIDI controller keyboard are that they must be plugged into a computer or a laptop. They have no onboard sounds. It can be a poor choice for beginner keyboardists. These types of keyboards are hardly the only option available. Many modern keyboards offer features that blur the line between different keyboard types. For instance, you may find a digital piano with a synthesizer capabilities or a synthesizer with aspects of a controller keyboard. The complexity makes it difficult to compare individual keyboards. The sounds produced by the best keyboard brands will vary from model to model, even on keyboards whose specifications look almost identical. Before making a final decision, consider your child's musical interests and goals, read reviews, and talk to local musicians and instrument store staff. The short answer to this question is no, at least not right away. Most beginner keyboards come with built-in speakers, and once your child starts performing publicly, however, an amp may become necessary. No one becomes a musical virtuoso overnight. Practice is essential. Every missed key and out-of-tempo tune is a necessary part of practice. But let's face it, mistakes can be difficult to listen to. Fortunately, most keyboards come with a headphone jack, so students can make the mistakes needed for improvement without also playing on the frayed nerves of family and neighbors. The number of keys on a keyboard affects what can be played. Most keyboards come with 66, 72, or 88 keys. For a beginner, 66 keys are sufficient for learning to play, and you can play most music on a 72 key instrument. For anyone interested in playing classical piano, however, a full 88 keys are recommended, especially if you plan on playing a traditional piano. Many keyboards have fewer than 66 keys. This is common for a synthesizer or keyboard dedicated to producing electronic organ music. For instance, an analog synthesizer restricts itself to the number of keys needed to play songs in particular genres. Professional keyboards can often shift keys up or down to accommodate specific ranges. Keyboards should have 66 to learn, 72 to play most music, and 88 to play traditional piano. While 88-key digital pianos are the best choice for students beginning on learning to play traditional piano, students can also learn to play with a simpler 66-key instrument, and ease of use isn't the only consideration. A 66-key instrument is usually cheaper if you're not sure your child will stick with practice. You may want to opt for the lower price tag and upgrade to 88 keys later. The best keyboard for adults, however, usually has 88 keys. A keyboard brand you choose depends on multiple factors. Children's interests and tastes can change quickly, and the student who's thrilled to be learning keyboard today might have a very different opinion on the subject in 6 months. The cheapest keyboard brands, those found in big box retailers, often have smaller keys than their high-quality counterparts. Their sound quality isn't as good as higher-end keyboards, and they're usually made from cheaper parts that can break easily. Fortunately for your wallet, some of the best keyboard brands are quite affordable. Yamaha and Roland all offer inexpensive boards with different key ranges, built-in speakers, and a wide variety of sound options. For the more advanced or motivated students, consider Korg or Williams boards. Full-size weighted keys of a Williams keyboard make a good choice for adult students and any student planning on learning traditional piano in the future. Buying a new keyboard gives you the opportunity to discuss with store staff what type of keyboard is best for your needs. If you're on a budget, buying a used keyboard may make more sense than investing in a new instrument. Before you make the decision between new or used, here are some details to consider. The advantages of a new keyboard are that they are more likely to include the features you need and usually come with a good warranty. However, buying a new keyboard can sometimes be more expensive. Fortunately, many non-name brand keyboards are affordably priced. A used keyboard can give you a high-end instrument for less money, but as with all used purchases, let the buyer beware. Some used instruments are in good condition, others have been cared for poorly. If you know an experienced musician, ask him or her to weigh in on whether a used keyboard is worth your investment. Check your potential purchase, carefully turning it on and making sure all keys and buttons work. The perks of getting a used keyboard are that they are often less expensive than newly purchased instruments. It's possible to pick up a high-end keyboard cheaply. Be wary of purchasing one that may be faulty or damaged. The downside to buying a used keyboard is that you will not have a warranty on it. Whether you're picking up a keyboard for your child or want to learn to play yourself, your keyboard isn't worth it if it sits unused in a corner of a room. School of Rock focuses on teaching students to enjoy playing their instrument first. Once students start to enjoy playing, they're eager to discover the broader concepts of music so they can start performing. When students know they're preparing for their first rock concert, practicing pretty much takes care of itself. Considering one of our summer camps to get your child inspired. Offered throughout the summer season, School of Rock piano camps teach students how to play their favorite songs as part of a band. With workshops ranging from songwriting to performing on stage, our summer piano camps are perfect for students of all skill levels. We love providing students with everything they need to start playing immediately, from the keyboard to accessories, lessons, day camps, and even on that first concert. Our kids and adults grow from total beginners to performers who go on stage and on tour. Along the way, they build confidence and make lasting memories and friendships with others pursuing their lifelong passion for music. Our patented music programs are taught by practicing musicians just like me with the experience you need to learn to play. With School of Rock, you can perform live shows and develop your skills in a supportive learning environment for all skill levels. If you liked what you learned here, head to schoolofrock.com to find classes fit for musicians of all skill levels, or head to the description below to sign up for a class today.